Hi there, this is Janine Sews and I'm Janine. Thank you so much for watching my channel. In this video, I'm going to share with you 4 tops that I've made, plus the trip that I've been planning for months took place. So I'm going to share with you how much I got done and what worked, what didn't work. Just some thoughts about my little travel wardrobe. If you've watched some of my videos in the past several months, you'll know that I've been working on what I'm calling a travel/capsule wardrobe. I have a list of patterns, of projects, and color schemes. And so I've just finished, well, before we went away, I finished 4 tops that are part of that. Now, 3 of the 4 tops are from patterns I've used several times before, so I'm not going to go into great detail. I'm instead going to just put a little link up above to the video where I discuss the pattern and how it worked. But I will make a note of anything interesting or different or any changes that I made. The first top I'm going to tell you about is this one. This fabric is a cotton spandex that I picked up at Loiseau Fabrics, and what I think makes it really special is the print. I love this print, the blue with the poppies, but also the weight of it. This is 210 grams per square meter, so it's a beautiful weight because it doesn't stick to your body and show all the bumps and jiggles and everything. And the pattern that I used for this, I actually lied to you when I said you'd seen all the patterns that I'd used before. I haven't shown you this pattern because I used it once before and I wasn't necessarily happy with it. And that's the Love Notions Laundry Day tee. I used this pattern last year on a fabric that's fairly similar to this one. It's a fairly beefy knit. And what I didn't like about my toile version, the sleeves were too tight, the upper chest was really tight, and it was also way too elliptical. So when I made up this one, I decided to use the pattern just because I thought, I like elliptical tees, and I thought that it would be nice for this fabric. But when I made this up, I added 1/2 inch to the arms. Now, if you use this pattern, I do not have huge biceps. So the sleeves are pretty tight. So I added 1/2 inch, and then I ensured that I only used a 1/4 inch seam allowance on the upper chest, and it fits much better. But then there was the problem of it being way too elliptical. So when I got to that point on this particular top, I had everything sewn except the side seams and the hem. So I just basted down the side seams and I put it on. Got a little video here. I put it on and it was just too elliptical. I thought it just made me look big because this beefy fabric stands out from the body. A drapier fabric wouldn't do that, but this particular fabric, like the one I tried previously, just sticks out a lot from the body. So I tapered down from the sides and I took off, by the time I got to the hem, I had taken off 10 inches. 10 inches around the bottom of the hem, but it turned out quite well. And I'll tell you, this top, I love it. I'm going to wear this a ton this summer. So this is top number 1. Now we're just going to go through the other ones here and I'll pop up pictures of me wearing them. This is top number 2. And I showed you this fabric several weeks ago. This is an ITY in a Pucci/Paisley-esque print. I got this at Fabricland. And I bought this thinking that this color here, this little color here, was gray, but in fact it's taupe. So this color didn't work perfectly with my plans, but it was fine. We've got a kitty with a mouse. For this pattern, for this fabric, I wound up using the Forget Me Not Vera pattern, which I used And I found when I did Sew Frugal this year, I liked the shape of that top, and it turned out really well in a bamboo knit. So I used it for this fabric. The change that I made is when I made it the first time, I used bishop sleeves. This time I just did the bell sleeves. One thing that is different about this particular top is the length, because when I used the pattern the first time, I lengthened the top by 2 inches, which I'm prone to do. And then, like an idiot, I didn't write that on the pattern pieces. So this is 2 inches shorter than the other version I made. And unfortunately, it hits me right at the fullest part of my belly. I do have some of this fabric left. I'm considering adding just a very soft ruffle at the bottom, not a tightly gathered ruffle, but just a very soft ruffle to add a couple of inches. Alternatively, I could eat less and go to the gym. Okay, the next top is this. And this is a dusty rose sweatshirt fabric, also from L'Oiseau Fabrics here in Calgary. I bought 6 pieces of fabric at L'Oiseau, and I have sewn them all up as part of this project. I liked this because of the weight and because of the color. Here in Calgary, summer evenings are cool. You can wear a sweatshirt on July 23rd. If it's 25 Celsius during the day, it could be 8 degrees Celsius in the evening. So you do need sweatshirts and just cozier things to wear in the evening year-round. So I thought this would be nice for summer. The pattern that I used is Simplicity 9275. And you will see this top has princess seams, and it's got this peplum thing on the bottom. I didn't add the pocket on it as I have done before, but this is the 3rd time I've used this pattern. The changes that I've made to the pattern, I always do a high round back adjustment on it. And this time I made the neck slightly V. And this is a Love Notions Rhapsody in silk charmeuse. I've never sewn silk charmeuse before. And this fabric came from Fabric Mart a couple of years ago, and it's this pale blue-gray with blush pink brush strokes on it. I bought this maybe 3 years ago, and I've been wanting to use this for a long time, but I was honestly kind of afraid to sew silk charmeuse. So I went onto Instagram and said, any tips? And people said, just throw it in the wash and the dry, and it might change the hand a little bit, but it'll be easy to use and you won't have to worry about watermarks and things like that, because it was marked dry clean only. I was not brave enough to throw it in the washing machine in the dryer, but I did put it on hand wash on our machine, and then I let it drip dry. And yeah, it changed the hand slightly. It feels a little bit firmer, but it was a joy to work with. It's been worn and washed and dried, and it still looks really nice. And I think, well, decided that the Love Notions Rhapsody is a really wonderful all-purpose blouse pattern, because you can make it up in a really casual fabric and it looks a little bit dressy, kind of floaty, great with jeans or capri pants or shorts, or you can make it in something like silk, and it's a really pretty blouse. So this is, I made no adjustments, by the way, to how I've sewn this up in the past. This is Love Notions Rhapsody in silk charmeuse. So those are the 4 pieces that I managed to finish on the plan before we went away. So as I mentioned at the top, the trip that I was planning for has taken place. We took an 18-night holiday and we went on a cruise from Florida over to the British Isles, and then we stayed in London for a few days. I took every piece that I had sewed for this wardrobe. Some pieces, everything of course was designed to be worn many times because I took just a carry-on and I packed for 7 days with the intention of wearing everything multiple times and having things cleaned or washing them in the sink. Some garments were huge successes. Other ones, not so much so. My wardrobe is all pieces that just happen to go together. I didn't make multiple garments in the same fabric, which would have been a really smart idea, but everything just kind of worked together because this is a casual wardrobe that can be worn for travel or just general life, not a business wardrobe. So some things were worn a lot and other things not so much. This top was worn several times. I sent this out to be cleaned. I had this dry cleaned because I was concerned about shrinking, because you never know how people are going to dry things. They're going to throw them in a really hot dryer. So this I wore several times and I sent out to be dry cleaned. But there were two pieces that were worn constantly. The award for most worn garments, the McCalls t-shirt in coneflower blue, and the casual sweat style wide leg pants in jegging fabric. Why did I wear these all the time? They were comfortable. They were right for the weather that we encountered on the trip. I loved the color of them. But also, each of them wore really well several times. So for example, this coneflower blue top. The fabric, it's a t-shirt fabric. It's a little bit hefty, but it never looked crummy when you'd been sitting for a while or if it had been worn once and then hung up again. I did wash this out in the sink. It took 3 days to dry, so the fabric is kind of thick. It doesn't take so long to dry here in Calgary because the air is very dry. But this top was worn all the time, and I was really pleased that I did the little bit of ruching on the front because it just made it not a plain t-shirt. It made it something a little bit more fun. So I may have worn this 5 or 6 times, and then I wore it with these pants. And these, it's a simplicity, I'll pop the pattern numbers here, up here, and then in the description. Of course, these are made out of jegging fabric. And I will tell you that I wore these so many times, and I sat for hours wearing these, and the knees never bagged out. You know, knees get like stretched out of shape. Never happened with this fabric. It's perfect for casual travel pants. I did send these out also to be dry cleaned, but these pants were just fabulous. Now they're super casual and they're wide legged and they're not dressy fancy pants. That's okay. Great for vacations. Great for wandering around and just being comfortable. The other items that were worn a lot, the gray vest was worn several times, and I wore the cat sweatshirt maybe 3 times. I wore this pink sweatshirt once or twice. And one of the reasons why I didn't wear this as much is because, like the other sweatshirt, it's shapeless. But this one is really long. So if you wore this really long sweatshirt over the wide-legged jegging denim pants, I just looked big and shapeless. There was no definition anywhere. So what I need to wear things like this is some pants that have some shape. So maybe some jeans that are a little bit slimmer cut. I did have jeans, but they weren't really slim cut. Or maybe some leggings, which I don't really love, but I think having something with definition underneath a big sweatshirt like this, it will just give my body a little bit more shape that it was missing. So that didn't get worn as much. The gray dress pants. that I made and intended to wear. Well, I did wear them once with this blouse, but that was the only time I wore them. These are nice dress pants. They're nice for work. These are not vacation pants, and I didn't really think about that. It's not so much the shape, it's the color. I wear a lot of gray to work. So these just didn't feel like they were special, and they were very basic. They just felt sort of utilitarian. So I only wore these once. So good for everyday wardrobe, not so good for vacation wardrobe. I didn't wear this yellow top a lot. I think I wore it twice. I took along some little neck scarves that I could wear with things. And I think the reason I didn't wear it is because I don't like the fabric. This is a double knit. It's perfectly fine, but compared to a cotton, it just lies differently. It just wasn't as appealing. And this top was worn 3 times over 18 days. Wore it with jeans once. I did take ready-to-wear jeans. And then I also wore it with black ready-to-wear ponte pants that I took with me. And there were a few other things that I sewed that I took along with me. I took this top, the Chalice Mood top with the tulip sleeves. Wore this with white ready-to-wear capris for dinner a few times. I wore it with the belt and I wore it without the belt. And this, I think, is a very nice vacation style top. It was pretty, kind of dressy, but you could wear it out dancing or you could just wear it to dinner. Still got a list. I started this project with a list of designs, styles, garments that I wanted to walk out of this particular wardrobe with. I'm missing a couple. Jacket, dress, polo top, and I'm going to add one more to it. I'm going to add a pair of cropped or capri pants that are more slim fitting, because I need something like that to wear underneath the sweatshirts and give my body a little bit of definition. Now for the jacket, I had something in mind, but I missed having pieces that went together that were the same fabric. So I've decided I'm going to order some more of this jegging fabric and just make a light, casual jacket out of that. Something that can be worn over all kinds of things, that's not dressy, that's just something super simple that can be thrown on over different types of tops and kind of pull things together. I'm going to make a t-shirt dress. I do have some fabric, not quite sure if I'm going to use it. For the polo neck top, the golf top, I do want to make that still. And I loved this cornflower blue fabric so much that I went back to Loiseau and ordered 2 more pieces in different colors. I didn't even check to see if they were on my color scheme. This one I know is this pretty pink. I don't know about this green, but I really liked it. So one of these will be used likely for the polo neck top. The other one will be just a t-shirt. When we were in the UK, I didn't buy any clothes. I looked at a lot of clothes, and there are so many pretty floral dresses in the stores. Casual dresses, kind of dressy dresses, maxi dresses, knee length, calf length dresses, ditsies, big florals, ruffly, plain. And you see dresses in the stores here, but you don't see them on people on the streets. I saw so many women of every age wearing pretty floral dresses with their leather sneakers, with very casual shoes. They weren't dressed up. This is just what they were wearing. So that's kind of inspired me. It made me think that, gee, I would like to have another really casual dress and force myself to wear it all the time, to wear it shopping, to wear it out for lunch, to wear it just wandering around. So that's something I'm going to kind of add to the list for the next little while. I did buy myself a couple of little things in one store. In the lovely Liberty. I always have to go to Liberty. And then I'm afraid to sew the fabric. I got myself some labels. And these little labels that say handmade. But then I wanted something that was kind of coronation related, but not gimmicky or novelty. So I found this really pretty tantalon. And this is the Liberty store with flowers and sunbeams. I don't think there are crowns on it, but it was something that was part of the coronation collection. So I think I got 2.5 meters of this tantalon, and I'm going to make myself a top out of it. I probably won't make a dress. Maybe I'll make a dress. I'm going to make something for myself out of this. And this is all that I bought. At the beginning of the year, I talked about sewing goals, and I said we're going to talk about sewing goals and check in June. So if you would like to talk about sewing goals, you can comment here. I am going to go back through all the comments from that video. And if you would like me to mention you, if you have something you're very proud of, or something you've discovered, or something you want to share, you're welcome to put it in the comments below, or you can send me an email at lifeofjanine@gmail.com. So I just feel like this has been a big, huge project, and I'm ready to start on something new and something different. I also don't want to mess up the sewing room because it's so clean, but got to get back into it because I am missing sewing and I'm tired of sitting around after such a long holiday. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you're well, and I will see you soon.